What happens when America's sweetheart comes face to face with an interview that spirals totally out of control? Well, grab your coffee, because what I'm about to tell you might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about live morning shows. And before we dive into this wild confrontation, don't forget to tap that subscribe button and leave a comment, because this story has more twists than a country music ballad. So, here's the scene. The Today with Jenna and Friends show is running its usual lineup when Carrie Underwood walks onto the set looking radiant in a cream-colored blazer. Her signature blonde waves are perfectly styled, and the audience is buzzing with excitement. Phones are up recording. Jenna Bush Hager is seated across from her with that warm smile everyone associates with her. "Carrie, it's so great to have you back on the show," Jenna starts, her voice filled with cheerful morning energy.
Your fans are beyond excited to hear about your new album and this upcoming tour that's creating so much buzz. Carrie settles into her chair,
crossing her legs with grace, and flashes her $1,000,000 smile. "Oh, Jenna, thank you so much for inviting me. I always love being here with you and your wonderful audience." Everything begins smoothly, exactly as expected from a seasoned star like Carrie. They chat about her family, her newest singles, her tour dates. Carrie answers with charm, laughs at just the right moments, and the audience is hooked. Everything seems right on track, until Jenna leans forward slightly. There's a flicker in her expression that instantly makes the air in the room feel heavier. "You know, Carrie," Jenna says carefully, "I need to ask you about something that's been making the rounds online. There are some pretty serious claims being made about your charitable foundation, where the donations are actually going." Carrie's smile doesn't fade, but anyone watching closely could see her jaw tighten ever so slightly. "I'm sorry, what claims are you referring to exactly, Jenna?" Jenna, instead of sticking to the script, pulls out her phone and starts scrolling. It feels messy, unprofessional, and very off script. "Well, there was this investigative article that came out recently. It suggests that less than 30% of donations from your foundation reach the people they're meant to help. The rest apparently goes toward administrative expenses and, well, some very fancy office spaces. The atmosphere in the studio drops about 10 degrees. Carrie's publicist, sitting just off camera, can be seen waving frantically at the production crew. Clearly, this wasn't part of the agreed interview. "Jenna, I think there must be some confusion," Carrie replies, her voice still sweet but carrying a sharper undertone now. "My foundation has always been transparent. We release detailed financial reports every year." But Jenna doesn't back off. In fact, she presses harder. "I actually have those reports here," she says, holding up her phone. "And if you do the math, your foundation spent more on office furniture last year than on actual charity work. How do you explain a $20,000 conference table when your mission is helping underprivileged children?" The audience shifts uneasily in their seats. This is not what they signed up for. Some continue recording, while others glance at each other like they wish they could leave. The mood has gone from light-hearted to tense in seconds. Carrie inhales deeply, obviously fighting to keep her composure. "Jenna, I'm surprised you'd spring something like this on me live without giving me or my team a chance to properly address it. This isn't journalism. This feels like a setup." "I'm just asking questions your fans deserve answers to," Jenna shoots back, her tone carrying a trace of smugness. "You've built your whole brand on being wholesome and generous. Don't your supporters deserve to know where their money actually ends up?" That's when Carrie's calm starts to crack. Her southern accent grows stronger, which anyone who knows her recognizes as a sign she's upset. "My supporters, as you call them, are some of the kindest, most generous people out there. And I resent the suggestion that I'd ever betray their trust." The cameras continue rolling. Behind them, the crew is in chaos. The producers are panicking, not sure whether to cut or keep filming. Jenna realizes she's poking the bear, but instead of pulling back, she pushes again. "I'm not implying anything, Carrie. I'm citing facts. Your foundation took in over $2 million in donations last year, and only about $600,000 went to charitable activities." At that, Carrie suddenly stands. Her chair screeches against the floor, making everyone in the studio flinch. "You know what, Jenna? I came here to talk about my music, my tours, and to share some joy with my fans. Not to be attacked with half-baked numbers and accusations." The silence that follows is deafening. The audience stops murmuring. The tension is thick enough to choke on. "Carrie, please sit down," Jenna says quickly, looking nervous for the first time. "Let's discuss this like adults." But Carrie shakes her head, her blonde waves moving with the motion. "No, Jenna, we're done here. You can fill the rest of your segment however you want, but I'm not staying to be disrespected." She begins unhooking her microphone, every movement sharp and deliberate. "We still have 15 minutes left in this segment," Jenna protests, glancing nervously at the cameras. "Then you'd better find something else to talk about," Carrie snaps. "Because I will not sit here while you try to ruin my reputation with incomplete, cherry-picked nonsense." Security moves closer. The producers edge into camera view, trying to figure out how to stop this disaster. Jenna makes one last attempt. "Carrie, if there are mistakes in these reports, this is your chance to clear the air. Your fans are watching." Carrie pauses in her movements, then looks directly into the camera. "My fans know who I am. They know my heart. They know I do everything I can to help others. I don't need to justify my charitable work to someone more interested in stirring drama than telling the truth." Her words are icy, cutting straight through the air. Jenna looks rattled, but still won't let go. "I think you're overreacting. I'm simply doing my job." "Your job?" Carrie lets out a sharp laugh, void of humor. "Your job is supposed to be about informing people, not ambushing guests with gossip disguised as questions. When did the Today Show turn into TMZ?" The audience gasps audibly. Even the front row sits slack-jawed, shocked that the ever-gracious Carrie Underwood just said that live on air. The co-host, who has been practically invisible throughout, tries weakly to step in. "Carrie, I think what Jenna meant is that transparency is important." Carrie whirls on her voice lower and even more dangerous. "Transparency? Then where was the transparency in blindsiding me with unverified accusations?" "You don't call that transparency. You call that a trap." The co-host quickly retreats into silence, realizing she made a mistake speaking at all. Carrie finally rips off her microphone and drops it onto the coffee table with a loud thud that makes the entire studio flinch again. At this point, the audience is witnessing something historic. Phones are out, but some people are too stunned to even record. Carrie doesn't stop there. She begins listing the work her foundation has done, building schools, providing scholarships, donating instruments, funding music programs, supporting entire communities. Her passion pours out with such intensity that even the crew members find themselves nodding along. Meanwhile, Jenna looks like she's sinking into her chair. "You didn't mention any of that, did you, Jenna?" Carrie says, her voice dripping with contempt. "No, you focused on office furniture. You ignored the hundreds of kids who now have opportunities because of what we do." Jenna tries again, insisting donors deserve to know how money is spent. "You're right," Carrie concedes. "And that's why we publish full annual reports, hire independent auditors, and maintain an A+ rating with watchdog organizations. Would you like me to show your viewers that rating right now?" She pulls out her phone and holds it toward the cameras. "Here it is. Accountability, transparency, financial health. All verified. But I guess facts like this don't get you the ratings you're chasing, do they, Jenna?" The blow lands hard. Jenna looks stricken. "You thought you could corner America's sweetheart with gossip dressed as facts," Carrie continues. "You thought I'd sit here quietly because that's what good girls do. But let me tell you, I didn't get this far in life by being anyone's pushover." She slings her purse over her shoulder and heads toward the exit, pausing only to address the audience. "To those of you who came here expecting music and joy, I'm sorry. You deserved better than this circus." Turning back to the cameras, she adds, "And to my fans, please know your trust is everything to me. Everything I do with you in mind. Nothing and no one will ever make me take that lightly." Jenna, desperate now, pleads, "Carrie, please don't leave like this." Carrie stops and looks at her with pity. "I'm leaving exactly like this, because when someone shows me who they really are, I believe them." With that, she disappears behind the cameras. The studio is left in stunned silence. Jenna sits frozen at the interview table, her face pale. The co-host whispers almost to herself, "Well, that was certainly unexpected." And just like that, live television history is made.